UI7 Newsbreak. The New York primary results are in. See who's one step closer to winning the nomination.
Plus, we take you inside the 18th annual Ebert Fest this past weekend.
And on Friday, we celebrate the planet that we live on.
Your UI7 Newsbreak starts right now.
This is your UI7 Newsbreak, your U of I news source.
Hello, welcome to UI7 Newsbreak. I'm Kelsey Litchfield.
And I'm Cassie Carlson.
The state of New York held its primary for the presidential elections last night.
And the two frontrunners made a big gains with their victories. Donald Trump won the state with a little more than 60% of the vote, while Hillary Clinton also won the Democratic side with a similar number. Trump mounted a significant hurdle in his quest for the nomination with an additional 89 delegates, leaving his total at 845, only 392 short of the number required to win the Republican nomination. Hillary Clinton also added to her lead over Bernie Sanders by 800, including the superdelegates.
Moving closer to home, some professors of the University of Illinois went on strike yesterday. Their creative signs and chanting is sure to grab your attention. The non-tenured faculty coalition called for a strike yesterday. Picketing took place at the English building and speeches took place at noon and 4:30. The strike is in protest of the university's refusal to negotiate new contracts for non-tenured faculty, according to the union's website. Many of the members only have temporary 9-month contracts. Interim Chancellor Barbara Wilson issued a statement yesterday in response to the protesters. She says the university plans to work together with the union and negotiate an agreement quickly and fairly. The protest will continue on today.
Champaign-Urbana also hosted the 18th annual Roger Ebert Film Festival this past week. This is the 4th year of the College of Media has hosted the festival without Roger Ebert. UI7's Amelia Mugavero looks at how his wife Chaz Ebert continues his tradition of critique in film through the festival.
Robert Ebert's legacy continues with Chaz Ebert moderating Ebert Fest for the 10th year in a row. Ebert kicked off the weekend by leading 2 panel sessions Friday morning at the Illini Union. Ebert invited filmmakers and movie experts across the country to talk about the topics of diversity in Hollywood and women in film. During the first discussion, Ebert emphasized the diversity controversy with this year's Oscars.
Yes, okay, please.
But it went farther than just the issue of diversity at the Oscars. It's more putting into play a pipeline of projects, starting with studio heads who should be people of color, as well as people, writers, bringing in writers of color to write projects.
Ebert also advocated for women during the second panel and why there are so few women filmmakers in Hollywood.
Only 4% of directors of the major 100 movies were women, and that's just that must improve, and we want to see if we can find some solutions to those problems.
The sessions were free and open to the public, and both were nearly filled to capacity. Ebert says she wants to have a smaller panel next year to give people more time for audience interaction.
Students and members of the local community volunteer and help with the annual Ebert Festival. UI7 Newsbreak Kendall Herren shares how the event brought the local community together.
Almost 20,000 people attended this past week's event, including 250 volunteers. Within 5 days and a showing of 12 different movies, a large number of volunteers are needed. One volunteer, Jacob Frankovich, took his Sunday afternoon off to help at Ebert Fest. He saw it as a fun way to get involved in the community.
And received an email about a volunteer opportunity to work with Ebert Fest. Just knowing that it's one of the big events in the community, I thought it would be a great opportunity to help out.
Many volunteers take busy time out of their schedule to help at Ebert Fest. For one volunteer in particular, giving back at this event is something that's close and dear to her heart. Carol Cope, a resident of the Champaign-Urbana area, has been volunteering at Ebert Fest for the past 4 years. Her main role is being a zone leader at the Virginia Theater. She teaches and problem solves any issues that arise in regards to tickets. She also leads the bag checking process for the theater.
My 4th year. I started the year before Roger died. And I'd always heard about Ebert Fest, but I didn't know they used volunteers. And when I was talking to another volunteer, and she said, oh yeah, they use volunteers, I signed up.
Giving back to the community is something very important to Carol and is something she has a special connection with that others might not have.
I like volunteering. I like giving my time. I feel like it's kind of a payback for raising my kids on public aid. I had 5 kids I raised on public aid. It's my way of giving back to the community now.
From Urbana, this is Kendall Herren with Ui7 Newsbreak.
The films at Ebert Fest included a wider range of topics and themes. A new award was introduced to the festival to honor brave filmmaking. The Ebert Humanitarian Award was awarded to Disturbing the Peace, a film that explores the Israeli-Palestine conflict from the perspective of the lives of young people on both sides of the border. The film premiered at the festival on Friday. After the movie, directors Stephen Apkin and Andrew Young were honored on stage to a standing ovation. After presenting the award, Chaz Ebert invited 20 audience members to come on stage to join the crew in solidarity.
The Israel-Palestine issue is also important for the student community. UI7's Anatta Okonkwo had a chance to talk to some of the students involved. Tell us, Anatta, what did you hear?
Thanks, Kels. Well, as you know, this past week was Israeli apartheid awareness for pro-Palestine supporters, but pro-Israel students had a chance to do a little solidarity and organizing of their own. While some Palestine advocates strum the pain of resistance under a regime that they say is oppressive, Israel advocates choose to build bridges on campus through focusing on education rather than political faction.
So I think a lot of people on campus who would consider themselves pro-peace, our main goal is first education.
But of course, the administration has shown time and again, they don't care about us.
Formed
Right.
alliances
So
with
that Palestinians
organizations
can be
such
replaced.
as Black Students for Revolution and Campus Union for Trans Equality and Support to hold a rally of solidarity.
Organizing for 17
Activist Sonny Tour says why he believes non-Muslim and non-Palestinian activist groups should stand in solidarity for Israeli and Palestinian awareness.
And if we come together, we got greater numbers. You know what I'm saying? We can affect greater change.
But the issue of what some term as Israeli occupation has incited a backlash of hate pages targeting pro-peace and pro-Palestine supporters alike. Advocating for the Palestinian cause, activist Miriam Sultan has coordinated an open mic night to mesh the voices of marginalized groups in America as well as abroad.
But also this week specifically, we've been drawing the parallels between the African American struggle in the U.S. and the Palestinian struggle in Israel-Palestine.
Student solidarity extends much further than campus. It involves using communal spaces and building a social media presence. Illini Building Bridges uses Facebook as well as campus events to combat anti-Semitism through encouraging open dialogue about social and political differences. Whether pro-Palestine or pro-peace, building solidarity can be exercised in political prose, rallying, peaceful dialogue, or wailed in song. In Champaign, I'm Anatta Okonkwo, UI7 Newsbreak.
Coming up after the break, we bring you news of sexual assault on campus,
As well as how campus plans to celebrate Earth Week.
College education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
Campus was shocked with news of sexual assault more than once this past week. University officials emphasized the importance of care and counseling in these situations. Police said a girl was assaulted outside of Borough Hall on Goodwin Avenue. The victim said she was surrounded and groped by 3 or 4 unidentified college-aged individuals. Earlier in the week, a girl was raped in a frat house by a person familiar to her. The university sent out a response to the student body, reminding them of the range of valuable services, including hotlines, text services, as well as an online forum for reporting situations involving sexual violence.
Many student organizations are also leading the charge against sexual assault as they celebrate Sexual Assault Awareness Month. The U of I Greek community is striding for survivors.
Sorority and fraternity members walked on the main quad to unite against sexual assault.
Presentations were given at the local YMCA from various executive members of Interfraternity Council, United Greek Council, and Panhellenic Council about recognizing the issue.
It's very important because sexual assault is happening, it's on our campus, it's happening to our sisters and our brothers, and so it's important to recognize that it is a problem and that they're not alone and they have the support of all of us.
So I guess my question to you is, what doesn't this have to do with you? What doesn't this have to do with Greek life on campus? And what doesn't it have to do with all of us?
Greek members from Panhellenic Council, Interfraternity Council, and United Greek Council took to the quad on warm and sunny afternoon to raise awareness for sexual assault. They walked around the quad, and with so many U of I members out on the quad on the beautiful afternoon, they saw the message that the Greek community was sharing. Greek members held signs around the quad with statistics about sexual assault. This is the first annual solidarity walk from the Greek community as a whole. The overall goal is to unite the sorority and fraternity members on a serious issue that is faced on campus.
It's all the councils together that need to come as one and support survivors, because only 5% of people who are sexually assaulted will report it. So if we looked at the other 95% who doesn't say anything, we would be able to see what a huge issue it is on our campus.
T-shirts were given with the Stride for Survivors logo and a teal ribbon to symbolize sexual assault awareness to remind the fraternity and sorority members why they unite for this important cause.
I think that the Greek community can get kind of a bad name, a bad reputation, and so it's important to show people that we're about so much more than they think and that we come together and support each other and things like this.
In Urbana, Kelsey, Litchfield, Ui7 Newsbreak.
It's Earth Week, and the U of I community has an exciting lineup of events planned to celebrate the environment. UI7's Abraham Koshy was at the Sustainability Festival this past weekend that kicked things off.
This performing duo, the Berumbau Bandit and the Kashishi Kid, took the stage with instruments not many people had seen before. The Bandit, or Jason Finkelman, while not performing, says they have a unique source.
He has his handcrafted instruments made from found materials, and my African and Brazilian percussion was created by a man named Adi Mukumba in Philadelphia, and he makes these African and Brazilian instruments made out of found materials as well.
The local musicians performed as part of the Sonified Sustainability Festival that kicked off Earth Week at U of I. The headliner was an artist from New York, Ken Butler, who took this concept of music from everyday materials like a golf club to the next level.
Instruments have contact microphones. The whole body of them allows me to use many different techniques to make them sound. And then I also exhibit them as sculpture, so it's a truly multidisciplinary concept.
Right. 25 of Butler's unique sculptures are also being exhibited at the Illini Union Gallery until the 2nd of May. Jason Finkelman, who is also the director of the festival, wants to set an example with these techniques of making music from recycling and repurposing.
I hope they leave inspired by what they see today and they realize that you can make music with just about any object.
The festival also gave the crowd a chance to talk to many local sustainable organizations and products that had set up around the lobby. Together, they hope to kick off Earth Week on a strong, sustainable note. In Urbana, Abraham Koshy, Ui7 Newsbreak.
In a different kind of celebration, Asha UIUC put on an event allowing students to make rainbow cultural connections as they celebrated a unique Indian festival. The playing fields at Lincoln and Florida Avenues became a color war zone Saturday as students gathered to celebrate Holi. Attendees chased and covered each other with colored powders and were treated to traditional Indian food and performances. Hindus in India and Nepal typically usher in the springtime with this two-day festival in early March. Holi is also known as the Festival of Colors and the Festival of Sharing Love. At the U of I, festivities are planned by RSO Asha for Education, which works to provide access to education to underprivileged children in India.
Have you ever been to Holi?
I have not, but it looks like a ton of fun. I saw the colors throwing. It looked just like a blast.
I saw a lot of people this past weekend that were decked out on Saturday in all different kinds of colors just running around.
And they had the perfect weather. It's been so nice lately. Yeah. Can't complain at all about that. No. Hopefully see it for the weekend.
Right.
Well, that's all we have for this UI7 Newsbreak. I'm Cassie Carlson.
And I'm Kelsey Litchfield. Thanks for watching and have a great day.